Welcome back, everybody. I'm Kaylee Cavallo, and today we are going to switch back to the personal experiences from our students and parents at the Freetown Lakeville Regional School District. Most of our students walk into school carrying challenges that most people can't see. ADHD makes organization feel impossible. Executive function struggles that make simple tasks like turning in homework incredibly difficult. Anxiety that turns everyday expectations into overwhelming pressure. From the outside, it can look like a student isn't trying, but often the truth is very different. Many of these kids are working twice as hard just to keep up, and what they need most is understanding, support, and adults who recognize the difference between a student who won't and a student who can't without help. Tonight's story comes from a parent who watched their child struggle in a system that often seemed to misunderstand those differences. The story is shared with permission, and identifying details have been removed. This is episode 7 of Falling Through the Cracks. In 6th grade, my oldest was placed on the 6200 team. One of those teachers wasn't mean, but she was extremely disorganized and often seemed clueless about what was going on. Because of that experience, I specifically requested that my other son be placed on the opposite team the following year after hearing better things, but it turned out that that was a huge mistake. For example, one teacher, who we will refer to as Teacher A, actually argued with me, insisting that my son wasn't completing his work when the assignments were literally in his bag. He simply just forgot to take them out due to his ADHD, executive functioning challenges, and his anxiety. Instead of understanding those challenges, she chose to argue with me rather than work towards a solution. Then there was Teacher B. His classroom felt overly competitive. He posted class averages publicly, and my son was mocked by his peers because his scores lowered the class average. He also displayed names of top-scoring students on the board. At one point, he even told me, "It stinks for him to have all smart friends." That comment stayed with me ever since. One thing that always stood out to me was the competition between these students and the shame placed on kids who needed the extra help. There was also no extra support from teachers outside of the classroom. Not one teacher stayed late or offered additional help when students struggled. When my children needed support, we, the family, were told to find tutors or handle it ourselves. The message was clear. Their responsibility ended when the school day ended, and this was unacceptable. One of the most upsetting experiences happened at the middle school. My son was failing a class, so I requested a meeting with the staff and support staff. During that meeting, my son was belittled and criticized instead of supported. A teacher even stated that it was her job to intimidate students. I was shocked. I cried and eventually raised my voice, asking, if he's struggling this much, then why am I the one calling this meeting? I told them plainly that he felt 2 of his teachers did not like him and that they were sitting in this room. I left the meeting with assurances that he would receive support through academic resource services in 8th grade. Instead, we were given makeup work to complete during our drive from a family vacation in Florida, and when 8th grade began, he never received the promised academic resources at all. I can tell you there were multiple times every single year in middle school when I had to help him catch up on homework during vacation periods. This wasn't occasional, it was constant. The students in that program needed extra support. Instead, they got yelling, intimidated, and belittled. That was used as motivation, which in my opinion is simply bullying from the staff. For 3 years, every summer, I had to call the school to dispute placements because decisions were made as a team without honoring what had been discussed in meetings or what my son actually needed. One of the biggest issues that I find in that school is the complete lack of support for mental health and awareness for that support that is needed. Kids were bullied all the time, not only by other students, but sometimes by staff as well. Students would sit alone without any counselor stepping in or offering any support. Another ongoing issue was the lack of communication in conferences. How does a school not have enough conference slots for every child? I had my appendix removed and couldn't attend scheduled meetings. Yet when I asked for alternate dates, not a single teacher responded or offered another option. No one stepped up. My oldest is quiet, high honor student who doesn't typically need extra help. So he did fine regardless of the environment. And honestly, that highlights the real problem. Students who are already succeeding do well no matter what, while the kids who actually need support are the ones who struggle and are often looked down upon. This is completely backwards. Supporting those students is a job. Last week, my youngest had a team meeting at his high school, which is out of district now. Someone asked what helped him achieve honors this year, and his answer was simple: I belong here, the teachers help me. That response was powerful and honestly heartbreaking because it showed just how unsupported he felt before. I know stories like these can be hard to hear because many families recognize the pieces of their own experiences in them. Students with ADHD, anxiety, and executive function challenges often need structure, patience, and understanding to succeed. But when those struggles are misunderstood, they can easily be interpreted as laziness, lack of effort, or behavior problems. And when that happens, the very students who need the support can end up feeling embarrassed, discouraged, or even targeted. Schools should be a place where students grow and build confidence, not a place where they feel ashamed for needing help. One of the most important things that this story can highlight is something many parents talk about privately: a culture where academic competition is celebrated while students who struggle are quietly pushed aside. Posting class averages publicly, highlighting only the top performing students, creating environments where kids feel responsible for lowering class averages. For students who already feel behind, that kind of environment does not motivate them. It isolates them. Supporting students who struggle is not an inconvenience. It is part of the responsibility of education. Schools are full of educators who care about their students, but caring also means recognizing when systems and environments or approaches are unintentionally harming the very kids that they are meant to support. Students with learning differences, anxiety, or executive function challenges deserve classrooms where they feel safe asking for help. They deserve teachers who understand those challenges, and they deserve support systems that actually follow through on what is promised. A powerful moment in this story came from a simple sentence. When a student was asked why they were succeeding in their new school, their answer was simple: I belong here. The teachers help me. Every child deserves to feel that way about their school. That stance of belonging shouldn't be rare. And until that is the norm, these stories will continue to be told. This is episode 7 of Falling Through the Cracks.